Hello. Oh my gosh, it is so good to be here with you guys. It has been a long time, actually. I realized that whatever I did last week didn't post, so I missed you guys for a whole week. But welcome back to Create What You Want with Shauna St. James. Okay, I'm Shauna St. James, and here in this spot, this is where we work to build the foundational mindsets we need to succeed. Honestly, the mindsets we need to succeed. That's what we do here. This week, we're going to be talking about perfectionism. Perfectionism. I think as creatives, we have a lot of that naturally, and perfectionism can really hold us back when we want everything to be perfect. Oh my gosh, it can really keep us stuck. So how many of you, if you're here, say hi. I'm coming on at a really weird time, so I'm probably not going to have any of you live today, but if you are here, say hi, and if you're watching it in replay, say hello. I love to know who is here when you guys can make it. So here's what I want to ask you. Have you ever, you've worked on a painting, or there's two sides to that. Let me go backwards on that. Maybe there's a painting that you have in your head. You haven't even started it yet because you're afraid that it's not going to turn out the way you want it to turn out. Or you have a painting, you've started it, and maybe you've been working on it for way too long. It's just never finished because it's never perfect. That is where perfectionism can get you stuck. Or if you're on the business side of being an artist or an entrepreneur or creative and a maker, maybe you've wanted to start a new blog, or maybe it's just a blog post. Maybe you already have a blog, but you're running to write a blog post and you just keep editing it and you never get it out there because it's not perfect. How many times that we have gotten stuck over things that aren't perfect? Hey, hi, Dina. Good to see you. Thanks for popping in here. This is not my normal time, so I appreciate you finding me. Or what about a website? If you are a creative and maker and you're wanting to do this as a business, maybe you have a website that you've never actually, you don't get your products on, or maybe you've never even launched the business website because you don't have that sales landing page or that home page perfect, or maybe you don't have the right photos for it. Confession, that's I just mentioned that one because that's me. I'm like, oh, I don't think I have I need a photo shoot to have a website, right? Or I'm going to do this one. If you're an artist or making or creative and you want to be in front of your social media, but you don't do it because you're too afraid to go out and do those lives, you want them to be perfect. You feel like you need to be perfect in those lives. So that holds you back. You don't get in front of your social media. I'm just giving a few of them. I'm sure you can come up with some of your own ways that perfectionism keeps you stuck. Yep. Yeah, I know. It just happens that that's the way we're wired. This is something I talk a lot about inside my Creative Jumpstart program. It's actually, our brains, our bodies, our minds, we're wired to really self-protect, to protect ourselves. So anything that feels too risky, man, everything in your mind is going to be telling you, nope, 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 don't do it. And perfectionism is actually one of those. It's kind of one of those rocks that we carry around in our backpacks. So if you've been with me any length of time, I talk about how our minds are like backpacks. Backpacks, that's where you carry all the supplies and the tools and everything you need to make a big climb, right? If you are a mountain climber, if you are going to climb to the summit is your goal. Whatever your goal is, whatever it is you want to accomplish. In our case, a lot of us, we are creatives who want to have art and what we create as a business. And that's our ultimate goal. What specifically is in that goal is different for each of us. Some of us, we want to have a 6-figure income. Some of us, we just want to be able to go out and speak our truth. Whatever your goal is, isn't really the point. The point is you have to have the right tools and supplies in that backpack to help get you at the mountain. What you don't want to be carrying is rocks. Rocks weigh us down. They do not help anything. And actually, they keep all the good stuff out of your backpack. If you're carrying rocks, you're carrying junk. You're not carrying the stuff that's actually going to sustain you and help you get up the mountain. So that is what we're talking about here. Perfectionism is one of those rocks that we need to get out. So I wanted to leave you with basically 3 things that you can do to help you deal with perfectionism, to help you conquer perfectionism. Because honestly, the ultimate goal here, whatever it is that you see at that goal, I want you to achieve it. I want you to have the mindset that is unstoppable, that's unshakable. Now, that doesn't mean that you're not going to have some rough times, or you're not going to have things get in your way that totally take you off track and you end up having to take a different path to the summit. That happens to all of us. That's the way life is. And we have mindsets that help us deal with that too. But I want you to be able to show up as the leader that you want to be, as the influencer that you want to be. I want you to be able to go and accomplish whatever that is for you, whether it's you want to go out and make social change with your art, or maybe you're just really wanting to sell your art because you want to make people happy. Whatever it is, I want you to have the mindset you need to succeed. That is our goal here. To create what you want, in this world, not just in art, but to create what you want. Okay, so let me find my notes here. Here's what I want to talk about. The 3 points I want to make about dealing with and managing and conquering perfectionism. It pops up all the time. This is not a one and done. This is not something that we will only do one time. We will have to repeat this over and over, which is why we have to have these powerful mindsets in place, because when we recognize, oh, I'm stuck in perfectionism, that's the first step, just recognizing it. So once you recognize it, I want you to think of these 3 things. 1, I want you to go forward and take whatever action you can take. It doesn't have to be a big one. It doesn't have to be a big one. I'm going to repeat that. Any movement is movement. Any action is action. I want you to take one simple action toward that big goal. And don't worry about if it's even the right action. This is point number 1 that I want to make. Go out in the spirit of testing and learning and experimenting. Meaning, when you go to take action, don't worry about whether it's the right action, if it's a perfect action, if it is what is going to get you the results. Just go forth with, you know what? I'm just going to try this. I really don't know what I'm supposed to be doing. All I know is that I'm stuck, so I'm going to try this. If it doesn't work, that's okay. I'm just going to try it. I want you to go with that. Move forward with that. That takes off all the pressure of and expectations of having to make sure that you wait for just the right perfect move. If you constantly wait for the right thing, you're just staying stuck and you're not moving. So go forward with the spirit of testing, experimentation, and learning. Okay, number 1. Number 2, I want you to look at it this way. All feedback is good feedback. All feedback is good feedback. What do I mean by that? That means that it doesn't matter whether you got the results you wanted from that action or not. Whatever feedback you get, whether it's negative or positive, it's one step closer to the direction that you need to go. Don't think of it as, oh my gosh, I just got myself further away. You didn't. Even if you didn't get the result that you wanted, the response that you wanted, the sale that you wanted, or whatever, you have one more piece of information to work with that's going to help you meet your goal, right? Does that make any sense? Hopefully, yes. Thank you, Dina. Meaning, and I also want you to, I need to add patience in there, patience, because sometimes when we try something, we have to try it more than once to really know. We can't just go out there and shoot all these things out there and not give it time to really get the feedback, right? So sometimes when you are let's say posting a sale. You're going to post a sale to your piece of art. You have it priced at $9.97. It's the first time you've ever had it priced at that price. And you think, oh my gosh, I'm absolutely crazy, but this is really how much I want for this painting. So I'm just going to post it. The first time you post it, you get crickets. You hear crickets. You don't get any response. Don't jump to the assumption that, oh my word, I can never sell this piece for $1,000. What was I thinking? Don't just jump to, instead take that feedback and go, okay, the way I presented that obviously didn't get the response I wanted. Maybe I need to present that in another way. Think outside the box. Yes, you got it. You totally get it. Think outside the box and think of other ways that you can still make that offer, still present that painting, but maybe your people need to hear it in another way. So don't just automatically go to the negative, the big negative of, oh, well, nobody wants that painting. I'm using painting and art specifically because I'm an artist, so that's just the example I'm using. If you are not a visual artist, if you're a writer, if you apply this to what works for you, I think you still get the same concept, right? If you're submitting something to a publisher or an editor, same thing if you're a writer. All feedback is good feedback. Here's the last thing. And this is one of the most important. They're all important, but seriously, give yourself grace. Have some grace. Grace for yourself, grace for others, grace for your audience. When you get crickets for them, hey Dina, yes, I thought I saw you in boot camp. When they don't see your offer as worth it, like maybe you get some negative comments about an offer that you put out there. Give them some grace. You know what? They may not know enough about you and your product to understand that price point that you put out there. So think about what you can do to help them understand better. Give them grace. Maybe they just had a really bad day and they were taking it out on you. We don't know. Yes, I need to do that for myself. I know. But the point is, don't always jump to the negative worst assumption that actually puts it back on yourself. Give yourself grace. If you go out there and you do a live and you totally mess it up, that's okay. Give yourself grace. If you go out there and maybe you do a whole setup, I've done this before. Once again, I'm going to use myself as an example. I did an art show. I really didn't know enough information about the art show to know the kind of clientele that was coming to the art show. That was my first mistake. I did not do my homework. So I got to the art show and I set all my stuff up. My product was completely out of the price point of the audience of the people that were attending that art show. It was a waste of my time. It was a waste of, a booth space for the art show that hosted that. They could have given that to another artist. There were just so many things that I was really upset about when it came to that I was like, wow, I totally messed that up. Well, I had to give myself grace for that. You know what? I learned from it. I learned that I know now that I had to do my homework before I accept a show invitation, right? And both, vice versa. They may not know enough about me. I may not know enough about them. But either way, I had to give myself grace for that. Because we're not perfect. It is impossible to be perfect. Oh my gosh. What a boring place this would be if we were all perfect. Let's be real. Mess ups are kind of the most funniest part of life. Why do they have movie bloopers that we love watching? Mess ups are the best. Perfection isn't always the funnest. It's just not the best. So think of that as you're getting out there going, you know what? Yep, this is just the way the world is. We're not perfect. And that's actually the best part. That's actually the best part. Okay, I am going to sign off for now, and I will see you guys next week. Thank you for being here. And as always, please focus on mindset. Mindset is so powerful. Think about what rocks you have in your backpack that you need to get out, and we'll work on that again next week. All right, talk to you soon. Bye, everyone.